take a group of kids to Mexico. This is the brochure of the trip. On the back of this brochure, it talks about some of what the payments would be due if approved. I've used this travel company before. It's called Interact Travel out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. When I taught at Sun Prairie High School, I actually took this same trip with students. We go to some really nice sites, Uxmal, Chichen Itza, and if I can get the computer up, I can show you some pictures of them. Cenotes, which are really neat. Actually, I'm surprised there's not some around here. They're kind of like underground caves with water, and the kids can jump in and they can snorkel around. We go to visit a lot of historical, archaeological areas of Mexico. And then the last day we spend on an island right off of Cancun called Isla Mujeres. And they get to swim in the pool, or we can take some optional snorkeling excursions. They can swim with dolphins and things like that. The trip is 8 days, 7 nights. The book that I just passed out to you is the information booklet that if this were to be approved, we would have a parent meeting. It has all the information usually that parents are looking for before they send their kids on foreign travel without them. And the first sheet I gave you, the brochure, or the cost of the trip right now is $17.95. It was $16.85 if we had signed up last spring. So it hasn't gone up too much this close to the date. And on the back, like I said, there's kind of the deadlines of when things need to be due. That would be hardest for kids, I think, to get that money in right away. There's not a lot of time for fundraisers, but they're interested. I contacted Interact, and Diana had used Interact previously, and they let me know that you want a copy of insurance, and so they sent that to me. I got it last Friday. So I guess if you have any questions, or else I can show you a couple of pictures of some of the ruins. And I'm sorry this is so last minute. The kids came to me about 2 weeks ago. They're like, hey, are we going to have a trip? And I thought it had to be like opposite of Cornwall, so if kids want to travel to both, we don't have 2 trips in 1 year. It would be leaving between June 10th and June 20th. Would be those, we'd have to depart somewhere between that time. After spring sports, state activities, and working around the Mineral Point mission trip. And I have a student who was going to get me those dates today.
6 kids, did I see that?
You need to have 6 kids, yeah.
That's amazing.
That's it.
Seems like a valuable cultural experience.
Mm-hmm.
What would their opportunities be to speak Spanish?
So, well, there is a homestay component to this. The students said they were not interested in doing a homestay. They were kind of nervous about that. That's something we can talk about more. But when we go to all these places, they're supposed to be speaking Spanish. They're interacting with staff when they order food. At the tourist sites, all the people there, everybody will be speaking Spanish. The worry for me is that they'll speak English with each other, which I know is going to happen.
So if there was the homestay, how many nights would the homestay?
I believe it's 3.
And when Senora Rogers did it, it was
Yep.
the homestay, right?
I don't know. Okay,
Based on whatever they paid.
okay.
What's the cost of the school?
None.
None.
Mm.
This doesn't add up to the fee here though.
Balance due 65 days prior, so it doesn't show all that.
Okay, so that's.
Yeah, no cost to the school.
Then on other trips, how safe is it down right now?
Right now, this is pretty safe.
Cancun is not real safe right now, is it?
Well, we wouldn't be staying in Cancun, we'd be flying into Cancun. But we are going to be at tourist spots, so I mean, that is, something we need to keep in the back of our minds. In the booklet, it talks about if the government sends out a do not go here, too dangerous, then the whole trip's canceled, and I think there's a $350 loss to the student. And there's optional travel insurance they can buy as well.
It's really up to the individual families to decide if they,
And I agree.
want
Yeah, I
to.
do.
I mean, you can say it's not safe to go to Madison anymore.
No,
Right.
no, it's not.
And I'm just having this open to students who have finished Spanish 2 and up, because I think Spanish 1, they're still too elementary to really get the full experience of using the language. I mean, the culture would be great, but the language part. So,
The only thing that I ask is this gets vetted through our insurance carrier.
Sure.
Have we used this company before?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and Diana Rogers.
Mhm. Yep,
I don't use it, you have.
yep, and Diana has, yep, yep.
All right.
And then here's the copy of the insurance, I don't know who wants it. Okay,
No cost to the district, if there's a child
Absolutely
that
none.
wants to go, they can't afford to pay to go, what do you do there?
well, we have fundraisers, Diana has about, I think it's between $500 and $700, and is it called a 21 account, is that the name of it? Yep. So that has been, they've been fundraising over, I don't know how long, since Diana was here, and that money we could spread out among the students. It hasn't been earmarked for one particular student or another. I did check with her on that.
And you are up if you want to show anything.
Yeah, I just want to show a couple pictures, so hopefully this all works. Chichen Itza, which is one of the stops on day 5. It's just been recently been named one of the 7 wonders of the world. Must be more than 7 now. So, and they actually walk up the sides if they want to. There's a big, huge chain link that they hold on to when they go up because the steps are really narrow because the Mayas they were small and they didn't need big steps. So you have to go up sideways. So that's kind of neat. And then there's the cenotes, which I was telling you about. Oops. Maybe I didn't put them all up. I was having problems with my computer this morning. So the cenotes are kind of like big sinkholes, which we are familiar with around here. And let's see if it shows us some pictures. Here's some, and this would probably be the one they would go to. You jump in, this isn't the one we'd go to. I've seen the one we go to. It's like more like this. And you go to the top, and then you jump into the bottom, and there's caves. And they have snorkeling gear at the bottom, and then you go put it on. And if they're not strong swimmers, they require that they wear life jackets anyway, so it doesn't matter. They wear life jackets and they go snorkeling around, they can see into the caves, and there's tropical fish and things like that. And how those were used for travel. They actually, with the caves, they went and they traveled through them at certain points in time. And Uxmal is another site that we'll be going to. So you can see it's a lot of archaeological sites that the kids are going to be able to go to and climb into, and there's tours. And then when we have the school or the go into the towns, you can see the colonial times of Mexico and go into various spots around Mexico. And they're also going to be going to little markets. They'll be bartering with vendors. And again, I think I sent an email to Joelle saying that, this is the price of the trip. If there are things that they want to purchase, like souvenirs and stuff like that, that would be an additional expense. Also, the flight leaves out of Chicago, so we'd have to, and that would be not an expense for the school either. We would figure out transportation. Maybe parents could take us down, or we could ride the bus down or something. So that would be an additional expense, though, on top of this.
Do you have any idea how many kids you're thinking of?
Well, tons always say they want to go, and then when the money, needs to be turned in, then it changes. So I've got at least 15 kids who are interested, and most of them are juniors, and that's why they're really pushing for this, because if we do it every other year, they won't be in school. So I'm thinking that they're probably pretty motivated.
Is there benefit to expanding it to include freshmen? That
Well,
you would consider?
yeah. So, well, I have some freshmen who are in Spanish too.
But freshmen in Spanish 1, is that a possibility?
I guess it would depend on the student. I'd have to think about it on an individual basis, but normally I want them to have enough in language to get by on their own, so I don't have to stand there with them the whole time while they talk to let's say a vendor. But I would consider it.
I move that we approve it. It seems like a valuable cultural experience and something the school board should probably not interfere with.
Motion by Lisa, second by Julie. You take minutes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all coming in so early on a Monday morning, like I said. It's
No problem.
and a foggy Monday morning.
insurance cover some road major?
We do. We have a liability policy with an umbrella over the top that would cover any school-affiliated trips and clubs.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Opposed? All right, motion carried.
Thank you.
Did you guys will choose a 3-0 or 4-0? I'm not sure.
4-4.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep.
Good morning.